Number 1. What is our galaxy called? Andromeda, Milky Way, Twirl, Cygnus A. Milky Way. Fun facts: our home galaxy's disk is about 100,000 light-years in diameter and just 1,000 light-years thick. Most Milky Way-sized galaxies have monster black holes at their centers. Ours is called Sagittarius A star, and it's 4 million times the Sun's mass. Number 2. Biblically, how old is the Earth roughly? 3.5 billion years. 100,000 years. 6,000 years. As old as your mum. "6,000 years. Fun facts: one biological evidence for a young Earth is the presence of soft tissues and biomolecules in fossils, which in theory shouldn't exist in fossils that are supposedly millions of years old, but they do. Number 3. Who was the President of the United States of America during the 9/11 terror attacks? Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan. George W. Bush. Fun facts: I couldn't find anything remotely interesting about George W. Bush, so stay tuned to the end of this video for a joke about him instead. Number 4. Who directed the 1986 film, Stand By Me? Rob Reiner, Steven Spielberg, your mate's mum, Martin Scorsese. Rob Reiner. Fun facts: the 1986 film Stand By Me, directed by Rob Reiner, is about 4 best friends who go for an adventure over a Labor Day weekend in search to find a missing body. Through their journey, they discover their true identities. Number 5. When was YouTube founded? (1990), 1995, 2000, 2005. (2005). Fun facts: in 2005, 3 friends named Javed Karim, Chad Hurley, and Steve Chen wanted to share a video online. The 3 looked for a video sharing site but couldn't find one. That's when they decided to create their own. They uploaded their first video, Me at the Zoo, and YouTube was born. Number 6. In computing, how many bits are in a byte? 2, 4, 6, 8. Fun facts: the word bit is a portmanteau of binary digit, and it's the smallest piece of computer information. Most computers use combinations of 8 bits, called bytes, to represent one character of data. Number 7. What is the main ingredient of glass? Basalt, calcium, sand, limestone. Sand. Fun facts: when glass breaks, the cracks move at 3,000 miles per hour. That's 5 times faster than the average aeroplane, which travels at 575 miles per hour. Number 8. Where in our solar system is the tallest known mountain? Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Mars. Fun facts: volcanic structures and landforms cover large parts of the Martian surface. Geologists think one of the reasons volcanoes on Mars were able to grow so large is that Mars has fewer tectonic boundaries in comparison to Earth. Oh, and there's no little green men living there. Number 9. In the cartoon Garfield, what is his owner's name? Your American uncle, Jed, Jim, John, Joe. John. Fun facts: John Arbuckle was a cartoonist by trade and had 2 pets, a dog called Odie and a cat called Garfield. Number 10. What is the capital of Italy? Rome, Venice, Vatican City, St. Petersburg. Rome. Fun facts: as of 2023, the population was around 4.3 million. Oh, and it wasn't built in a day. How well did you do? If you got 0 to 3 answers correct. Do you wear a badge saying Mummy's Special Boy? Anything from 4 to 6. Not so special now, are you? And from 7 to 9. Almost special. In a good way. In the unlikely event you got all 10 right. There are 2 types of people in this world: losers, and then there's you. Now the joke.
President George W. Bush was visiting a junior school and entered one of the classes. They were in the middle of an English lesson, discussing words and their meanings. The teacher asked the president if he would like to lead the class in the discussion of the word tragedy. So the jittery leader asked the class for an example of a tragedy. One little boy stood up and offered,
"If my best friend, who lives next door, is playing in the street and a car comes along and splat, kills him outright, that would be a tragedy."
No,
said Bush.
that would be an accident.
A little girl raised her hand.
"If a school bus careered off of a cliff and sank to the bottom of the sea, killing everyone on board, that would be a tragedy."
I'm afraid not.
Explained Mr. Bush.
That is what we would call a great loss.
The room goes silent. No other children volunteered. President Bush searches the room.
Isn't there someone here who can give me an example of a tragedy?
Finally, way in the back of the room, little Johnny raises his hand, with a mischievous glint in his eye and grin on his face. In a quiet voice he says,
"If Air Force One, carrying Mr. Bush and Mrs. Bush, was struck by a missile and blown up to smithereens by a terrorist like Osama bin Laden, that would be a tragedy."
Fantastic.
exclaims Bush.
That's right. Can you tell me why that would be a tragedy?
Well,
says little Johnny.
because it wouldn't be an accident, and it certainly wouldn't be a great loss.